The Regina Floral Conservatory.
Hi, welcome to the Regina Floral Conservatory. My name is Brenda. Today we're going to learn about the parts of a plant. Come with me. Let's just take a little walk through the conservatory. I want to show you some of our plants. Do you know, we have hundreds of plants here, and I want to show you to start off with the African mask. Look at how it looks like a mask that you'd wear on your face. And come on over here, we have our flamingo flower, one of the most unusual flowers. It's also called an anthurium. I want to show you too our pitcher plant. You see at the bottom it's got these great big funny looking things. I wonder why it's called a pitcher plant. These ones are old and you can see they're starting to die out, but there's brand new ones starting right here at the end of the tips. I wonder what gets caught in these pictures, and I wonder why they're catching things. And do you hear that? Do you hear that noise? That's our fish pond.
Parts of a plant. Roots.
Do you know there's 4 parts to a plant? The first part that we're going to show you is the root of a plant. Root. Now the root is the part we don't often see, so I'm going to show you some secrets that are hidden underneath the soil. First one that I'm going to show you is the root of a flowering plant. This one is our beautiful little anthurium plant. So, Mr. Anthurium, how about showing us your roots under the soil? Just pull this up, and you'll see the root. Now, some roots are in a tight ball, but these are the parts that go out and go into the soil. And as they're going down and into the soil, they're looking for something. They're looking for water and nutrients. So there's tiny, tiny little hairs that we can't see here, and all of those hairs are sucking as if you were sucking on a straw. Can you pretend you're sucking on a straw? That's right, we suck in, and that's what these roots are doing. And you see the tips of these roots? You see how they're a different color? They're almost like a bright yellow. Well, that's the part of the root that's growing, and it's going to keep on growing and looking for more water and nutrients. Thank you, Mr. Anthurium. We'll just gently put you back in here. Tuck all of your roots inside so you're ready to go. Good. Cover you up and tuck you in. Now, I'm going to show you the root of a tree. Now, you know trees are really big, and we have some big trees here at the conservatory. Take a look up at this tree. This is a fig tree. And it's so big, it's providing us with all kinds of shade. Now, a plant like that, a big tree, where would its roots be? That's right, they go deep down under the ground. And we wanted to show you this tree and its roots because you'll see the power of the roots. So just look down here. What do you think this is down here? Right between the cement and the bricks. Did you guess a root? Because you were right, this is a root. It's pushed the bricks and the cement so it could fit in. And if you follow it along, look at all these beautiful lines. This is a really old root. You can see that it's even pushing the bricks of the wall apart. You see that, how they're all out of order now? That's what the roots did. Isn't that amazing? So when you come to the conservatory, you can look at the floors and see all kinds of roots growing here. Now, the last plant I want to show you is this spider plant. Now, the spider plant, happy here in the sun, and we're going to ask her permission to show her roots. We're going to lift her up very gently, pull her out. Oh, wow, look at those roots that she has. Do you see those big fat ones? And the big fat ones have sometimes very skinny ones coming out of them. See here, you can see all of these fine little roots. And this root is a real root ball. It's growing around and around and around because it can't send its roots into the soil. If it was outside, it could, but right here, it's inside of a pot. So it forms the shape of the pot inside there. Do you see that? This is called being root bound, when they have to grow round and around instead of spreading down. And some plants have to be root bound like this before they make a flower. Great. Those are the roots of a plant.
Stems.
Hi, are you ready for the next part of a plant? We learned about roots, and now we're going to learn about stems. I thought we should start with the biggest stem, which is the trunk of a tree, because it's like a stem. So remember the roots are down in the soil sucking up all that water? Well, the stem is the part that has the water running all the way up to all the leaves. It takes it up. Now, this is a tree trunk that has been cut in half. It's actually from a carragana tree. If you look at the inside, you'll see that inside of the tree trunk, there's like a big, long road or vein that goes all the way up. And this is where all the water and the nutrients travel up. I think it's a bit like if you look at your veins on your wrist. Do you see that? Well, that's got the blood that's going from the heart into the lungs and then back into the heart again. And it carries oxygen to our body. So it's the same things with plants, but it's carrying the food and the nutrients. It also carries some of the food and the nutrients the leaves make down back into the other parts of the plant too. There are a lot of different types of stems. The one that's right here that you see on this tree is actually a climbing plant. It's called an ivy plant. Now, this just normally a big floppy stem. It doesn't hold up on its own at all, but it has a very special trick. This stem sends out glue so that it sticks to the tree. And then once it does, little tiny little legs or roots seem to grow from it, and it sticks into the tree and helps it to stay so that the vine can take the leaves all the way up the top of the tree to where the sunlight is. And the stem's job is to hold up the leaves so that the leaves can get the sunshine. So there's a lot of different stems. So you can see this one has a leaf on each side. If you come over here and have a look at our friend the anthurium, anthurium is different in that the stem is holding up one leaf or one blossom or flower. So only one part at a time. Interesting, isn't it?
Leaves.
All right, we've talked about roots, we've talked about stems. Now we're going to talk about leaves. Oh, have we got leaves to show you. First of all, let's talk about what leaves actually do besides being pretty. The leaves have the most important job of the plant, actually, because they're the part of the plant that makes the food. They take the sunshine that's coming in, and it mixes with something called chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is what makes the plant turn green. So those two mix together, and it makes food for the plant. That's why when we eat lettuce or cabbage, that's giving us food, because they've made it from the sun. So the leaves have two parts. They've got the top part that has tiny, tiny little holes in it that are helping to absorb the sun. And then we have the bottom of the leaf. Now the bottom part of the leaf is very important as well, because in the bottom part of the leaf, you have something that can't see it with our eye, but it's called a stomata. And the stomata is the part of the plant that opens up, and that's how the plant breathes. It breathes in, and it breathes out again. And when it breathes out oxygen that helps us to breathe. So as you can see, here's our little anthurium plant again, and its leaves are in the shape of a, did you say heart? Because you are absolutely right. But take a look at these leaves beside me. This is one of my favorites in the conservatory. This is called a pinstripe plant because it's got beautiful pinstripes that look like they've been drawn on with a paintbrush. And then right behind it, look at the colors on this plant. Do you see the yellows and the greens and the stripes? Stunning. Then, this is a croton plant, and look at the designs on it. Isn't that beautiful? See what the back looks like. Ah, you can see all the different veins where all the food is being carried down to the leaf and down the stem. And the last one I want to show you is right here beside our leaf, are called a peacock plant. Because if you look inside at the leaf, it looks like little peacock feathers right there on the leaf. It looks like a leaf on top of a leaf, but it's all one. And underneath, look at the color. Those are just a few of the wonderful leaves that we have in the conservatory. We've got one more part left. I wonder what that is.
Flowers.
The last part of the plant that we're going to show you is the flower. The flower is the part that makes the seeds. And what the flower does, it wants to get the bees and the insects to come and visit it so that they can pollinate the flower to make the seeds. So they have beautiful colors or they have a really nice smell to bring them to come in closer. So let's look at a few of our pretty flowers. This first one is one that grows in Mexico, and it's called a bougainvillea. And if you look at it, you can see there's a leaf around the outside is the bright pink, and the flower is actually this little tiny white thing in there. Aren't those beautiful leaves? Pink. So the leaves would be drawing the insects in as well as the flower. If I was a bee, I'd come and visit this one, and I'd stick my little nose right down in there to get the pollen from it. That's what I would do. And I think you know this color. You can see it's got just a cluster of petals around the outside. And I don't know what it's got on the inside. That's where the pollen and the nectar is in the flower. And we have, of course, you want to see the anthurium flower? This part that you've been looking at all along is actually the flower. This part up here. Isn't that a strange one? Hope you've enjoyed learning about the 4 parts of plants. We have the roots, the stems, the leaves, and the flowers. Did you know that we have some plants in our conservatory that were on the earth when the dinosaurs were here? Well, not that particular plant, but their great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandpa plants were probably here. This is one of them. This is called a false monkey puzzle tree. And you can see this is the green, the light green is the new parts, and the darker green are the older branches. And they've got very sharp thorns on them. So monkeys do not climb on them, that's for sure. Come on over here, because the next plant that I have to show you is amazing. Boys and girls, this is our wonderful bird of paradise plant. I'm going to stand up here so you can see just how big it is. Look how big this stem is. Isn't it huge? And the leaves are absolutely incredible. Look at the size of this one. It's almost as big as me. And, oh, look at, it's got a flower. Come over here and have a look. Can you see it here? It looks like a bird's beak. That's why this plant is called a bird of paradise, because the flowers look like a bird. Now this is just a bud. It hasn't opened yet, but when it opens, it'll have a beautiful flower. Thanks for coming with me to look at our beautiful plants at the Regina Floral Conservatory. I hope you remember the parts of a plant and that you'll come and visit us here. Look at the plants yourself, to smell the beautiful scents in our conservatory and to just feel what it is like to be in here. Bye.